welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot readings from the heart. So today's reading is for the zodiac sign of Libra, and Libra, this is your March 2015 month ahead reading. So just to let you know, Libra, before I start, my website is now up, running and in full flow. Thank you to everyone who's ordered a reading so far. I've had some really good responses back, so thank you very much. I offer pre-recorded video, pre-recorded audio, and also email readings, okay? And I basically read for people all over the world, so UK clients and also international clients. If you're wondering how you pay for a reading, if you're an international client, so from America or China or Japan or Australia or wherever, you'd go through to the PayPal page, okay, once you've ordered your reading, and PayPal will convert to your currency and you'll be able to pay from there. Otherwise, you can actually pay from credit card or debit card, so it's completely up to you. But anyway, that's just to let you know about my personal readings that I offer. And yeah, completely down to you if you want a reading with me and if you feel it's necessary at this time. But right now, here is your general reading for March. So Libra, what I'm seeing here is a situation where I think that some of you guys maybe have been burning the candle at both ends, possibly a little bit too much, and you're either being called out for it, or you're having to kind of maybe reassess what you're doing. So there's a little bit too much, there might be a little bit too much drinking going on, there might be a little bit too much good times going on, and you possibly, for some of you guys, you're going to need to kind of rein that in or draw that back or something. I say this because we have the Devil card and we've also got the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is all about celebration and having a good time with your friends, and it's about kind of going out in groups and kind of communicating with lots of different people, and it's just a really good time card. It's, you know, it's about just having a really good time with your mates or just getting together with groups or people that you know. But we do also have the Devil card here, and this is really a classic card about kind of being chained to excess. It really, if you were to sum up, if you were to use a word potentially that could sum up the Devil card, and it really would be a card about excess. So kind of overdoing stuff, being attached to stuff, and really doing it excessively. So, you know, on the one hand, the Devil card is all about kind of being chained to stuff that isn't. The Devil here is kind of like the puppet master, but it really is just kind of like a metaphor for the world that we live in. So it's about kind of how we are controlled by materialism, and we are controlled by the external world, and we are controlled by everything that the external world represents. And the external world represents things like money, fame, sex, drugs, drink, you know. So these two people are really kind of attached to that, and they kind of don't mind being attached. I don't see anybody running, I don't see anybody hiding, I see kind of like acceptance of that there. And I just feel that with this Three of Cups card, to my mind, this signifies kind of being, for some of you guys in March, it's either being attached to like too much drinking maybe, or too much partying going on, or, you know, just too much kind of having a good time. The thing with the Devil card as well is that these people, to my mind, don't kind of, it's not like they take responsibility for their actions in a way. They kind of, when I look at the card, it's kind of like they're just happy to stand there and be corrupted by this, you know. They're not like, they're happy to be chained and turned, because they're growing horns at the same time as well. So to my mind, when I look at the Devil card, I see a couple of people who are kind of, there's a door there, they're both naked, it's almost like they've both been corrupted by something. So this is really a card for me of corruption and being corrupted by the external, or being corrupted by excess. But it's almost like they don't really know that they're corrupted by it. It's just a state of being for them. It's a state of what they're in. And I think because I'm looking at the Three of Cups here, I feel that for some of you Librans in March, there's going to be that sense of kind of burning the candle at both ends a little bit too much, or having a bit too much of a good time, and kind of being corrupted by that to the detriment of maybe your responsibilities to yourself or whoever. So that's why I feel these two cards are saying. But I do feel that in a way you're kind of being called out for it. because we do have the Judgment card here. And the Judgment card is all about kind of waking up to something. You know, it's all about kind of this angel is calling these people out. He's saying, you know, get up, like you're asleep, like, you know, why aren't you kind of, you know, get up and I don't know whether he's asking them to repent. I don't know what it is, but he's saying to them from the very volume of this trumpet, because you can see on the card there are the vibrational marks here. There are kind of, you can see the loudness of the trumpet because it's showing them. They're actually drawn, the sound waves are actually drawn on the cards from the trumpet. So, you know, it's all about being reawakened, and it's all about revival, and it's all about sort of coming round from something. So coming round from a state of unconsciousness. And I feel that with the Devil card and the Three of Cups, this is the corruption of potentially someone or something or souls, but it's not something that they're really aware of. They're kind of just having a good time and ignoring that maybe their excess and their kind of over the top having a good time is kind of maybe their eyes are closed to responsibility. Their eyes are closed to kind of what they need to do because they're being kind of taken over by what they're enjoying doing. So the Devil card is also a card about kind of conscience in a way. So your conscience, you know, so what you should do as opposed to what you shouldn't do. Do you see what I mean? So it's a case of kind of, I'm having a good time and this is so good and I'm enjoying it. I know I really shouldn't be going this far with it, but I can't help it, you know. And this is really someone who's waking someone up, as far as I'm concerned, to their conscience. And these are like two major arcana cards, and they're both kind of different ends of the spectrum here. This is a card about being chained. This is a card about being freed, you know. This is a card about imprisonment in something. And this is a card about being lifted out of that. And in between, we see the Three of Cups. The obliviousness to it, you know. Kind of just having a good time, and you're oblivious to someone who's kind of calling you out on it, or, you know, to the signals or of your behavior, because you're kind of corrupted within it, within the Devil card, as far as I'm concerned. But then we do have the Emperor card, and this is one about taking control of a situation, thinking in terms of rationale, you know, rationalizing stuff, kind of being resolute in something. So this could be your dad, or maybe it's a male figure, or it doesn't have to necessarily be a male figure because this is a general reading, but maybe this is a figure with some sort of authority. Maybe you know this person here, the Emperor. The major arcanas don't usually signify people, but I've found that in some of the readings that I've done, especially on YouTube, when I've drawn maybe two major arcana cards or one minor arcana, like a court card, and then a major arcana that, you know, maybe the magician or something like that, that it has turned out for some people to be literally people. So maybe the Emperor is someone who is saying to you, I'm going to help you through this, or I'm going to, you know, or don't want you to do this anymore, you know. And this can even be you who's kind of deciding, okay, I've been awoken up to something. I've been awoken up to kind of that brainwashing that I had, or that corruption that I didn't know what was going on around me, or, you know, I didn't realize that I was kind of sacrificing or not being responsible for my actions within the Judgment card. But now I see that this is going on and I'm looking to stop it. And maybe this is you taking control and deciding that you need to kind of get a balance there, and you need to kind of, because the Emperor card is also number 4 within the major arcana. So the Emperor card is always about stability a lot of the time. If you were to have literally this Emperor card as a representation of someone within your life, that would be someone who could potentially bring some stability into your life, someone who is kind of rock steady. So maybe this is somebody who is rock steady in your life, who is really there for you. He's kind of calling you out on this, you know. We then have the Magician card and the Eight of Cups. So it looks like for some of you guys, you are walking away from something. You are turning your back on something, and it might be through something that someone has said to you. It might be through a piece of advice someone has given to you about your partying ways, or about your, you know, your over excess with something. And I think that because we have the Magician first, this is either you walking away from someone who kind of had control over this situation, or this is walking away from a situation that you've created. Because the Magician is the creator, you know. The Magician creates his circumstances. He's a magician, for goodness sake. He can do a lot of things, you know. But again, this is a card about control. There's a lot of control within these cards. There's a control within the Devil card. There's control within the Emperor card. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 major arcana cards here. So this is some pretty big shit for some of you guys, I think, in March. But nevertheless, it might be you walking away from a controlling situation here, you know. From either a situation that you have controlled for yourself, or from someone who has controlled something, who has created a situation for you to step into, and now you're walking out of it because it was creating imbalance. And the Devil card essentially is about imbalance, because it's about excess. Whenever you're overdoing something, that it is imbalance, because there isn't any balance to what you do. It's not like you can have one drink and then 1 or 2 drinks and then leave it for a couple of days. You know, you got to have a bottle of wine every night. This is just a hypothetical thing, you understand. Do you see what I mean? So it is excess. It's going over the top with something, and maybe you're walking away from whatever it is that you've created, whatever situation it is. Or you're walking away from someone who you feel is kind of not good to be around, because they create these situations for you to step into. And the final cards are the 7 of Wands and the Strength card. So the 7 of Wands really is simply about standing resolute in your beliefs. There may be people saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the other. But it's about you saying, no, I'm digging my heels in on something. So maybe you're having to dig maybe the opposition is within you. Maybe this ties up with the Devil card, where we can see some excess going on. Some kind of like, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? I'm tied to something that I know potentially isn't that great, but I like doing it, so I'm going to kind of be oblivious to it with the 3 of Cups, you know. And maybe this is you having to kind of stay resolute within this new way of thinking, this new way of doing things. And this would really tie in with the Strength card. You're having to stay strong with something, resolute. Use all of your inner wisdom, your intuition, your willpower. To stay away from something, or to stick with something, whatever the case might be. But I do feel, Libra, with this reading, it was very interesting to me that within the month of March, there is some excess there for some of you guys, whether this is too much partying, potentially, whether this is kind of ignoring your responsibilities, potentially, whether this is being tied into a situation that you're kind of just not wanting to relinquish. But I do feel there's a wake-up call there with the Judgment card, whatever that might be. It might be somebody waking you up, or it might simply be yourself waking you up. You know, you might have just had enough, but you're being called to action. You're being called to take action, and the Emperor card really fits in with that. This is a man of action. This is a man of kind of resolute beliefs. You know, this is someone who kind of is really stable and really kind of rock solid. Can be a bit of a git if you push him, but he's kind of like, you know, when he believes in something and when he stands for something, that's it. You're not going to find him claiming, well, getting pissed every night or something like that, you know. He's someone who's kind of like in control. So I feel that for some of you guys, by being woken up from a situation, you're going to be taking back control of your life, or someone's there to kind of help you with that. The Magician card is all about creating, self-creation, being a co-creator. So it's either you that's created a situation that this is occurring in, or someone's there kind of leading you by the hand in a way. But either way, you're walking away either from a situation that you've created, or someone potentially has created for you. And with the 7 of Wands, we're looking at you having to stand resolute in your beliefs now, you know. And you're having to stay strong through that, because it's very easy to fall back into certain patterns. So that's what I'm feeling for you guys in March, potentially, for some of you guys. Some of you guys this will resonate with. Some of you guys it won't. But, you know, it doesn't have to be drink. It doesn't have to be drugs. It could be anything, you know. It could be going out after work every night, you know, and ignoring other responsibilities that you have. But whatever the case is, I just feel that there is a pattern of behaviour for some of you guys in March that you're going to need to kind of take stock off, wake up to, take control, potentially walk away from, and potentially stay strong in what you're doing going forward. So that's your reading for March, Libra. I'd like to say thank you very, very much for joining me. I will see you on your next reading, which will be your Law of Attraction reading for March. So look out for that and take care.